Okay, so welcome back. Guess what? That conversation got so good earlier about relationships that we had to do a part 2. Join us as we kick it together about our relationships. Convo with you. So thank you for joining us again here at Convo with You. I'm Tasha.
I'm Deborah.
I'm Nikki.
I'm Joyce.
And this is part 2 of relationships. As I said earlier, it got so good that we needed to continue the conversation. So let's jump right in and talk about a few biblical relationships. And then we'll have a chance to talk about how we met.
Well, I like to talk about a supportive relationship between Moses and Aaron. The important thing is that they were brothers, and I would like for you to read the story that is all over Exodus, but particularly Exodus chapter 4, verse 27 to 29. That's the beginning of their assignment.
And I have Jonathan and David. So that one was a pure relationship. So they were like brothers from another mother, pretty much. Super supportive, had each other's back, looked out for each other. Genuine agape love. So check that out in 1 Samuel and 18.
And mine, I love Elijah and Elisha. They had like a mentor-mentee kind of relationship, sacrificing, serving, surrendering. Elisha was, and Elijah was a humble teacher, and he was teaching Elijah. And at the end, he got a double portion. So read about it in 1 Kings 17, 1 Kings 19, and even 2 Kings.
And for me, it is the relationship between Paul and Timothy, that mentoring relationship where Paul really poured into Timothy, and then eventually Timothy learned from Paul, and then he was able to partner with him and go out and teach the world about Christ.
Okay, amen.
And those scriptures can be found in 1 Timothy and 2 Timothy.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we shall start talking about our relationship. How did the four of us become friends? How did we evolve to this? Who wants to start and jump in?
All right.
I think the one who birthed.
I was given the vision.
Yes, there you go.
She should start.
Yes, okay. Minister Deborah.
Well, God gave me this vision. Like we worked together in the church, in our church home. So we all worked together, and so as we were working together and growing together and maturing together and all those other kinds of things, the Lord began to just show me that it's much more to you ladies than just working here at the church. You know, there's something greater that I want you to do. And every time I kept hearing that, you know, I was getting excited, you know, in my belly, but he wasn't giving me any other things, so I didn't share with them. At first, I just kept saying, God, you know, what is this? And then they left and went on, you know, to other things. And so, but we still go to the same church, but we were no longer working together. But I kept hearing every now and then, you ladies are going to work together. You're going to work together. I said, but how come? You know? So finally, he just showed me, you know, us coming together and just having a show that would be able to reach the world and be able to just go forth. We didn't have to fly on airplanes to minister to the world. We can just sit and begin to talk with the technology that we have now. So when I went and talked to them and shared to them a little bit about what God was saying, it was like their bellies was butterflying and like, yeah. And we just started coming together with, you know, God was giving us clarity and you know, vision and mission and all these things. And that's where our 4 C's, you know, the converse, cultivate, challenge, and change. I mean, wow. I mean, look at that. I was like, wow. We was like so excited, super excited to just begin to do what God called us to do. It was a journey. So that's why I say part of this combo with you is a journey. It was a journey. So
and it was.
You know.
And I think our relationship is really the epitome of what women's relationship can be. Because I think a lot of time we kind of think, oh, it's, women can't get along, and we really can. We really can. We got different personalities, different temperaments.
Yes.
Some people want to be behind the scenes, but they're really the voice of wisdom. So it's just all different kind of relationships and styles and personalities, but we click somehow. God just allowed us to click. So I want to talk about a little bit how me and Tasha met. Cause I think you guys had the oldest relationship,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so y'all start. How did y'all meet?
Small groups.
Yes,
Yep.
church.
I was the facilitator of a small group, and she was one of the young ladies that was in the small group, and we just began to just talk outside because she used to come to my house. I had a prayer room.
Mm-hmm.
I remember she used to come to my house. She said, "I just want to go in your prayer room," and she would come in, and I would just talk to her like a daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and it evolved from that, and we just became, more sister and more friends. But it started in a small group. Small groups are good.
Yes, they are.
And it reminded me as she was talking, the Paul and Timothy relationship. Here's an example right here. How we connected. I was a babe in Christ, and I really wanted to get connected to the Lord, and I wanted to have relationships that were fruitful and that had God at the center. I had just started walking in the faith, and one of the things was I used to hang out with people in the world, and so I was lonely, and I really wanted to find someone or some people to help me grow spiritually, but also to connect me and point me to the direction of Christ. And so I started out going to small groups, and Deb was the facilitator, and she was my first spiritual mother, and so I really value her from so many different levels, and I really love her. This is a reminder, of down through the years how she poured into me. And yes, I would go to her house, and she would open up her home to me and allow me to use her prayer room, and just that started a rejuvenation, in my life, and how I saw Christ, and really being able to understand that it was about a relationship that He used to connect me to Him. And so now here we are. She poured into me, and now here we are sitting at the table together. And it's an honor and a blessing, and it's a privilege to be seated next to her, because we've come a long way, a long way, and she's really helped me become the woman in Christ that I am. And so I thank you for that.
That's so sweet.
And actually, she also poured into me. So we have those kind of relationships where we think that the other person, all you can do is pour, but she taught me some things. And you have to be willing to be able to learn.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's real. I think that's key, because I think a lot of people think, oh, if I'm pouring into this person, then they can't possibly teach me anything.
Right.
But if you mature, you learn from any and everybody.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
For real, you don't know who God sent.
Yes.
So since they were the oldest, then it's next between the two
Me
of
and
you.
Tash.
Yes. So tell us about it.
Well, me and Tash, we started in youth ministry, y'all.
Yes.
Y'all know how the
Yes.
youth be. And she was already in youth ministry. And when I came, we had a women's conference, and so we knew each other, but we didn't really know each other. And we went to the youth event. The women's ministry, and we were on duty to watch the girls. And they kept trying to sneak out of the hotel room. We knew their plans before, so they were trying to sneak out. So we were manned up with our hotel pillows, our blankets, and we had to stand outside their door and sleep in the hallway. And we literally just talked until the sun came up. It was like we just clicked. We just started talking. And so, what are you into? Oh, I'm into. Oh, me too. Oh my God. And literally all night, it was just, oh man, and this, and we just talked literally until the sun came up.
Yeah.
The sun came up, and that's how we were just kind of, and it just kind of built from there. And then the church, she was working at the church, and I had just left my other job, and I was like, no, I am not going. She's like, Nicole, come on, you're my friend. I'm like, I need you. Okay, Tasha, just because you need me, I will come back in and do secretary work. But yeah, so they just got even deeper from there. And then our kids were cool. So it was just always, our relationship just built over time.
Right. And I think that communication, that started our relationship. It really pushed us forward, because we talked all night,
Yeah.
and we were able to share about things that happened in our past, the things we had in common, what we were looking for in friends. I mean, it just started from there, and so just having that conversation the first time and really being open, because we were connected because we served in ministry, but being open to having a friend, that's kind of how we started. So. Hey, high five.
So girls, if you were in the hotel room when they were on guard, send us an email. How are you? Where are you today? We like to get
Where are you now?
Where are you now?
You know who you are. Y'all kept opening that door.
Exactly.
Like, oh, they still out there. You're like, shut the door. We still here talking.
So they did their job and they did it with excellence.
Yeah, and not knowing that the Lord was using them to build their relationships, knowing of this day here.
Yes. Okay, so I'm the last person in this group to join in, and I became an employee in the office. But as I was a new member in the church, and as I passed the door to the office, this audible voice says, "You're going to work in there." So I stopped, went back, looked in the office, and they said hi to everyone. And then when one said, "Well, Lord, if that's it, you will set it up." And sure enough, less than a month later, I get a call, come in to interview. And so I interviewed and accepted the job, and I became a member of this 3-party, now it's 4-party, and I loved everybody except one of them. And rather than my talking about it, I'd rather she talk about it, because I love her now, but it was difficult at the beginning. Okay, I can talk about okay, I will fess up. I am not a feely, huggy, touchy person. And Deborah was the type of person, every time she saw me, it was like, oh, hug her. And she would hug me, and I would just cringe. And so I didn't like her. I really didn't like her. I wanted to run from her, but I wouldn't see her coming all the time. So
that's all I should tell you for the
But it was a way of ministering to me, because I needed to get over that. I needed to get over that not wanting for someone to touch me. And so I think that's why God just had, you just hug on that. I mean, she gave me some big old hugs. I mean, and I couldn't get away. And I think she could feel my body pulling. I think you could feel that I just didn't want it. And so I determined that I didn't like her, and I just looked and said, I don't want to know her. Everybody else, but I don't want to know her. And that was it.
And I was wondering why I kept saying, go give her a hug, go give her a hug. And I just want to be obedient. I don't know what he's going to say, so I would go hug her, and she'd be like wrestling.
Go ahead. Now, because you know what I find strange is that affects her. Nobody else hugged you before her? Because our church is a church of huggers.
No,
right.
Nobody.
And wow.
I think the way I carry myself is to tell people to stand off. The way I behaved
Back then,
back then it was stand off. And
Very
people,
sergeant at arms.
yes, and most people, they would smile and greet me
from afar.
But they would, if they pass them, but no one hugged, no one even, did. I didn't want to be touched. And that message, apparently, I sent that message.
Wow. And you moved fast.
And I moved, I moved very fast.
That's still
And so when she starts hugging on me, it's like, I couldn't get out of it, because I couldn't get out of it.
That's something.
And so the Lord eventually ministered when we were riding together. So talk about that.
Well, and that's how we became even closer, is that I was going through a divorce, and I lost, some material things, my car. So I was catching 2 buses to the church, and they're like, where are you catching a bus?
You were ill. That's what got my attention. You were really ill, congested. It was wintertime, and you were catching a bus.
2 buses.
2 buses.
Let's make it clear.
And I looked at, and I don't know, all of us were together, so I looked at us, and the Lord said no. He just said no. Between all of you, she shouldn't have to take a bus, and she's ill.
Wow.
Yes.
That's what spoke to my heart, and that I was still the person who didn't like the hugs, but I thought it was so unfair and so wrong that you being ill, and since I suffer with congestive problems, I knew that could make it worse, and I didn't want you to go out there.
Wow.
And so they set up times of this person to pick me up, this person to take me home. I mean, and so doing that ride, you know, we had like a 30-minute ride or so, and doing that ride, we became even closer,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah,
because even though I've known Tasha for a long time, she was in a different season of her life, so I got to know that part, and, you know, I got to know Nikki better and Joycey, you know, so doing that ride home, we began to just gel.
Yes.
Because God knew of this day.
Right.
See?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
God knew of this day.
Right.
So he said, I got to get them to jail and get them to really, really minister. If they're going to be working together, if they're going to be ministering together, if they're going to be together, then they have to be together.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, first. And so it won't be phony. So it won't be any kind of like a phoniness. It's
Right.
real. It's
Right.
genuine.
Right.
You know? And so she would take me to the store sometimes, to the market. They would
I
come
sure
and pick
did.
me up.
Yes, I did. I forgot.
And that's just what we did. Look, we had eggplant day.
Yeah.
We still teasing about that. Them eggplants was good, y'all. And
I wouldn't even let me get them out the pan.
Let me talk about that. No, I didn't. I did not let her get them out the pan. I was looking like, oh, these are so, ooh. You know what it's good when you're doing that. So yeah, that's what I was doing. But we built our relationship, just built over time. And she was reluctant at first because you know she's a strong-willed woman. It's like, oh no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good.
She was so
And we had to make her like get in the car. You know, like we're taking you home, and it just built over that time. We just got closer.
Yeah, we took away your right to say no.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
For
I'm
your
so
own
glad of the
benefit.
surrender. You know, and even God worked in me in that and said, why were you refusing help? He had to deal with me too. So even in that, why were you refusing help? Because in relationships, if someone's offering you and they're your friends and they're in your relationship, why can't you take the help?
Yes.
What is so wrong with receiving help?
Yeah. Wow, that's good.
Ooh.
I think that's a lot of us.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I
Yeah.
guess it's the way of saying I'm needy or I'm not the super woman because I need right now. I need some help.
Yeah,
And
and being prideful.
Prideful,
You know,
that's what I was gonna say,
you know,
prideful.
That's a good word.
A lot of times we struggle with pride. You know,
Yeah.
and really not being able to share with others that we have some weaknesses.
Yes.
Or we
Yes.
need help. You know,
Yes.
that's exposing yourself.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
you gotta trust people because once
Yes.
they know your vulnerabilities,
That's
you have to trust that they won't misuse you or use
Yes.
those against you. And so,
Yeah.
really being able to understand in relationships, you have to sometimes, you know, and you guard your heart. Yes,
Yes.
you build trust over time, but then you recognize that you know you need other people,
Yes.
and sometimes you may have to reach out to them. Sometimes you have to tell them, hey, I'm going through a season where things just are not working out. Can you help me?
Yeah.
We have to know that we have to reach out to others
right.
and really communicate,
Yeah.
you know, those needs. And
Yeah.
so I know we're in a different place now. We can call each other on the phone and say,
Right.
hey, I'm going through, or shoot a quick
Right,
text.
right.
Text. We do it all the time. Hey,
Yeah.
be praying for me. I'm going through. And then
Yeah.
even God challenges us to expose ourselves.
Yes, he does.
You know, in ways that, you know, once you have a long-term established relationship, in ways that you like, I said that? Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
I shared with you that I struggle. Ooh.
Yeah.
You know,
And you
but-
can't take it back.
Exactly. Yes, you know, and
But
so
that's the trust that's there.
Yeah.
The trust that's been
Yes.
built.
And that's how we even got to this couch.
yes.
Okay, because
Yes.
the process from that ride, them rides, and us working and going our ways, and hey, let's start. Getting here has been a
Oh,
journey,
yes.
a
It has
long
been a
journey. Y'all don't
journey.
understand. It's been years.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, when we first started out, look, we went and talked to our pastor. He gave us the okay. He's like, you know, yes, go, be blessed. And it still took more years.
Yes.
And it was just like, but when you look at it, though, those years were pruning us to be able to sit on this couch
Yes, it
and
was.
be transparent and be
Yes,
honest and be
yes.
able to show our face on
Right.
TV and say, this is really who we are.
Yes.
Jacked up and all,
Yes.
but
Yes.
we gonna be honest that we really have a heart for people,
Yes.
and we really want people to know Christ. That's what you know.
Yes.
That really what
Yes.
ties the tie that binds.
Yeah.
You know, that brought us together. So even this sitting here on this couch is it really is a testimony
It's
to
a testimony.
relationship and how
Yes.
God can work and move because we got each other's
Yeah.
nerves.
Right. It was frustration. It was
We
like,
were like,
oh, what is
Many
this?
times
And
you
we
just
learned
like
different parts
quit.
about each other.
Yes.
We learned, Ted, ask her. She's like, oh, come on, let's go. Let's get busy. She's like waiting around. Oh, let me get this right. Sit down, Joyce. Oh, I gotta go get this. And I'm like, okay, let's technically do this. I gotta look that up on YouTube. I mean, but we learned even different, even more. And, you know, that was another layer. You know, I say it all the time. We all onions. That was another layer that we got a little deeper with each other. Yeah. That's just cool, man. When you find that, that's a blessing.
Yes.
And we had another friend who apparently was so supportive of us. He made a contribution to make our first purchase.
Yeah.
I don't know. I won't mention it.
Right.
We thank
She
you and
knows
love you.
you.
Yes, we love you.
Yes.
We just want to thank the people who did pour into this show once we shared it with the few people.
Yes.
And then we received the encouragement we needed, and even sometimes it was
Criticism.
it was difficult. It was difficult. Many times you just want to say, okay, I can do something else with this time. You got lazy, you know, I could be in bed or after church with this time. But instead, God, He kept telling us no.
Yeah.
Every time you wanted to quit, it was a no. You're going to push forward.
Yes.
Thank God. Thank God we did.
And we thank God for all the people that, like you just said, that poured into us.
Yes.
Right? So I would even like to mention Tracy Price, who did our pictures.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
Tracy
She made us look
Price.
gorgeous.
Yes. And this was a long time ago. And these are people who are, you know, our church members. They're like, so what's going on with the show? What's going on? We love y'all because we would not be. It was
One Stop Photography.
That's the name of the shop. Yes, thank you, One Stop.
Look them up.
Yes.
Good work. And Hugh Hatton, he does our intro, and he even give us little pointers. I'm like little free advice. He's a professional, for real.
So he's a Team 3 Productions.
Yes, Team 3 Productions.
Team
And he's a really good friend, so check him out as well.
Yes, and they did excellent work.
Yeah.
They made us look beautiful at One Stop. Because I technically I don't like to have my picture taken, and I'm sitting here in front of a camera, and so God has brought me a long way because I did not like to have my picture taken. And the One Stop, when I saw it, I said, "Oh, I look good." I can live with this picture.
So we've had a great conversation about relationships. We've had a chance to talk about the 4 different types that you should have in your life. So Joyce, what was yours?
Supportive.
And I had peer-to-peer.
And mentor and mentee.
And I had discipleship. And so it's very important that you have these types of relationships, and there are so many more, but these type of relationships in your life where someone's pouring into you, or you're being poured into, or receiving help and support, and also just being able to hold someone or hold yourself accountable. And those relationships are key to your success overall.
Yes.
That's
It
right.
is. It is. Having somebody pour into you.
So you heard from us. We want to hear from you. So find us on our website at ConvowithU.org. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.